We're live. There we go. All right. All right. HOBO Racing League back in action once again. Greetings to everyone. Another week here on Tuesday night. We're going to be bringing you guys some HOBO Cup Series action. Of course, tonight, one of the biggest wild cards on the entire schedule. It is the world famous Talladega Superspeedway. Anyone who's watching, of course, knows well about Talladega and the absolute chaos that it can cause. And I think that tonight is going to be no different. Of course, with it being Cup Physics, going to be a bit of a different show, but hey, with a big field like this, looking like we got probably 26, 27-ish drivers who are going to be taking it here. It is going to be a very, very fun show to see what we got going on. And, of course, not alone in the booth here. Once again, joining me for the first time, I think, since we called a truck race a little while back, but first Cup race that I can recall doing with you. But Blake Warren back in the booth, and dude, always a pleasure, man. Thank you for joining in.
Yeah, very glad to be here tonight. Talladega is one of my favorite tracks, both as a driver and as a commentator. So certainly we will be in for something very interesting tonight. And well, we got a lot of laps to figure out what that's going to be. But thank you for inviting me on.
Hey, gladly, man. It's we had Josh Mercurio on last week. Blake's on tonight. We're going to have Bomb Squad Cup Series action from Charlotte on Thursday night. Of course, our boy Zach Rogers will be back up here for that one. And, well, I'm sure if everybody remembers me pushing through with a high temperature, with a high temperature last week, well, it turned out that that turned into borderline pneumonia. So I am coughing up a storm, and I feel better otherwise. Like for some odd reason, uh, aside from the cough and a bunch of stuff coming up, I feel mostly okay. My nose is a bit runny, but so there's still a lot of stuff in there. So I apologize in advance uh, if any of that comes through on the stream. So, but Talladega though. Of course, always, as we said, you never know what's going to happen here. We got 9 different winners in 8 rather, excuse me, 8 winners in 10 races. Tonight is race number 11. We're going to be a little over half, just closing in on the halfway point. Actually, we're more like about a third of the way through the regular season, I believe. A little less than a third, so a little more than a third. I can't math. Blame the prednisone. But hey, we always have fun, and even if it's gonna be a little bit goofier tonight than normal, hey, we'll bring the action to you guys here. We'll briefly go over the starting lineup here, and then we'll get down to the nitty gritty of it here. Herman Reese starting on the pole position. Only driver in the 49-second bracket in qualifying. Of course, this is still open setup, so these guys do have a firm say in how their cars drive. Caleb Lingle looking for some redemption after last week. We'll be starting second. Kilojoules, Julian Wilson in third, and Randy Smith, Steve Grant, Mike Erickson, Jeff Stakanis and Eddie Rayleigh, and then Fugate, last week's winner, and Herb Johnston round out the top 10. Looking like 27 drivers will officially be taking the start here. And Blake, I will go ahead and ask you this. If there is anything when it comes to these big field super speedway races, kind of how you try to navigate that, because at least for me, I like to think that it's either you want to be at the very front, the very back, anywhere in the middle there, you're basically asking for trouble. But from your perspective, being a bit more prudent with these super speedway races, what would you say is your typical take?
Well, I think it really depends on where I qualified in the first place. If I'm going to qualify in, upper mid pack, anywhere within let's say it's a 30-car field. If I qualify top 10 or better, okay, then I'm going to try and just settle in up there. The chances, at least, of a wreck happening in the top 10 is kind of minimal, more or less. Unless something really, really big happens, someone gets a wrong, bad bump, someone just shifts up the racetrack too soon, or whatever the case is, I feel comfortable enough riding around in the top 10 that going forward, I can be there at the end. Middle of the pack, I might try and just fall back to the end. It would be worth it to try and make sure that I have some additional time to check out. And, you know, say if you miss the setup completely and you're like second to last, dead last, you just ride it out. You see what you can do at the back of the pack and see, more than anything, hey, like, how good of a suck up can I get when I fall into the draft? How does the car feel on this line? Does the outside line work? Does the inside line work? Am I a pusher? Am I a follower? Can I be pushed? You know, those are all the things that, thankfully, with a massive racetrack like Talladega and even larger tracks in NR 2003, you have some time to kind of practice that out. And even if you got to do it in practice session, you have a race session, which gives you a little bit more time and actual instance of testing these things out where it actually matters. So I'd say it really depends. Unless I'm qualifying on the pole or maybe starting fifth or better, will I try to go for the lead or start working there? But the opening laps, it's what can the car do? What can I do? And what do I feel comfortable with? And if I get pushed to the outside line, move out of the way and just let them all go by. They can figure out how to wreck themselves from there.
Perfectly fair. Survival of the fittest, and hey, just surviving in general. That is the nature of a big field Talladega race. And yeah, of course, all the usual suspects. Looks like, at least as far as on the channel goes, Charlie Trusty is going to be making his debut in the number 43, starting 18th. That would appear to be the one scheme that I was not able to download. So if you see a blank blue and white Chevy, that will be the 43. Pretty much everyone else, all the usual suspects that we've been seeing. As we count it down here to the official race session, 66 laps on tap for tonight. Pit window with these cars usually looking to be about 18-ish laps. Maybe 17 if you burn it up, like if you're leading most of the way. So that should that'll play into it. And oh boy, getting onto pit road during green flag conditions, that is going to be very, very treacherous throughout the evening. We'll see how that will play into it. Really quick though, I'll see if I'm able to dial up our standard in-race reporter here. Our boy Mac Daddy, Keith McLean. Mac Daddy, do you copy, good sir?
What's going on, Zach?
Hey, it's actually Blake up here with me, but I've got him on this whisper as well, so I'll try to relay everything. But of course, Talladega. Is it one of those typical bottom side tends to push up a little bit?
You got some of them guys can't hold the bottom, but it's gonna be just make it surviving. It's like NCAA, survive in advance, you know.
Hey, I get you, man. Best of luck to you there in that number 28. I know Superspeedway racing can be a little stressful, like you said, so just be there at the end. Go get them.
Especially when you're on beer 10
Already? Oh.
already.
Well,
Yes, sir.
Godspeed to you in that case.
I got this.
10 beers deep is Keith McLean. We'll see if he'll be able to hold on to that thing. Oh, my.
I can't even usually make it too.
Well, that's our guy Keith. It's good to see Barbara in the chat there. Yeah, we know the usual Rubino fan club's going to be coming out to the chat. So to all you guys, thank you for tuning in. Just going to have some fun here. Again, 27 drivers here. Large Talladega field. Never really surprised to get the big field at Talladega, but of course these guys, they always come out in droves for this league. I don't think that we've been below like 23, 24 drivers throughout every race that we've done so far. So always great to see. And I mean, good grief, you got Maverick going on tonight. I know that Virtual 8's racing. I know that BPNR is racing. You got 4 different leagues racing all at the same time. So, in combined, you're probably looking at well over 100 racers at this very moment right now, which is still pretty darn impressive for a game of this age. And just on a given Tuesday night, that's crazy. So, love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Ooh, yeah, here we go. Talladega, Blake. Man, am I so glad to have you up here for this one. We are going to have a fun time.
That we are. Here we go. Off into the tri-oval. Takes a little bit for them to hit the restart zone.
Patience. Patience. There it is. Green flag in the air here. Herman Race and Caleb Lingle to the start-finish line at 66 laps of racing are underway in Alabama.
I'm going to say, thankfully, things taking a little bit easy right now. No moves necessarily for 3 wide, but starting to get a little hairy if that potentially happens. Certainly possible here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a little more room here than at Daytona. But still, yeah, with that bottom lane being as tight as it is, we'll see if that could cause some problems throughout the night. Jason and Gary also in chat. Welcome to you both. But how about this? You got the Cadillac, Herman Reese leading the way here so far, and then the Corvette, KJ Kilojoules, who is also disappearing in second place there, but it will be the 73 leading the first lap here. Inside lane, though, looking pretty stout and getting the jump ahead of Lingle and Grant and company. Grant now going to bail to the inside. Looks like Caleb is going to be able to go with him. Generating runs and a lot of energy tends to be a little bit more difficult with these cup physics. But yeah, you're still going to need some help in order to be able to make some moves. Especially if you want to make your way from the back to the front. Just kind of check on through the field. So far, so good. Like you said, everybody just minding their P's and Q's. A lot of double wide, but still pretty scattered. Nothing too crazy as of yet. Ken Hansen, last car currently in the draft, in the number 94.
And Jeff Stacanis now takes the lead in the number 31. Solid push to the by the inside line. As the U.S. Army car for a moment started to move up the racetrack to run to the outside lane, thinks better of it, slides back down.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing that a little bit tonight. This is, like I was saying, a version of Talladega that kind of prevents you from firmly low-lining it because there's not nearly as much grip down there. The car is going to have a harder time holding on to that yellow line, so you're going to have to give it some more wheel, maybe blip the throttle, just to try to keep it down there, and that's going to help the guys on the outside because, of course, they're just going to try to pinch them off, and that'll, of course, stall out their momentum a little bit more. But the problem with that is if the guy pushes up and he's not ready for it, well, so someone's on his door, bang, and up into the wall they go. So that'll be something to watch out for throughout the course of this one. And, of course, also, yeah, just seeing which lines have the most energy. Ooh, that's a bold move there from Rayleigh, but he thinks better of it. Yeah, everybody's a little all over the place, but again, with a track that's a little more squirrely than your typical Talladega, plus open setup, plus cup physics, these cars aren't exactly going to be planted to the ground. They're going to, as we're seeing, they're going to be moving around a lot. Whoa, kind of like that. With the 43, ooh, and the 85, if they all keep it straight for now. Ooh.
Well, and here's something that I was actually wondering about is you had mentioned earlier as to the fact that they're running an open setup. So an open setup leaves this to question. You can certainly tape up the nose of the car, especially if we had, say, a late race restart or something along those lines that, maybe you don't need the water temperature to stay together for about 20 laps or so. Maybe you only need it for 5. Yet at the same time, depending on what you do, whether it's adjustments on pit road or how you set up the engine in the first place, it does make me wonder how many people may be maxing out their engines and how hard they may be pushing it that could lead to engine failure or other issues too. And then there's just the random NR blow up, which nobody ever wants to get.
Yeah, but we've seen plenty of those, that's for sure. But yeah, no, yeah. To your point, a lot of how you're going to be able to run the tape is all going to be in how you have the car geared. I've seen guys that run 75% tape with a much lower gearing, but most guys will tend to run 70 with a slightly higher RPM. And I say higher RPM with these in-game physics for Cup cars. They are restricted to, I believe it's 7,000 RPM instead of 10,000, which is like the normal, like your Speedway setup. So they're able to run way more grill tape. You run 70% grill tape with normal physics, that thing's blowing up in a hurry. You can typically get away with 70, 75 if you're really pushing it. But, yeah, as you said, oh goodness. But yeah, as you said, kind of how you have it geared is going to play a big factor into how much of that tape you're able to run. Is my just kind of getting some stuff squared away here, but Herman Reese though has been leading from the outset here. Had a couple of different guys behind him. Right now it's Jeff Stacanis that's sticking with him, and KJ Kilojoule's just been kind of stuck up there in about 4th to 5th on that outside lane. Fugate's sticking with him pretty well though. Randy Smith is up there, and now you got Keith McLean up there too. Boy Mac Daddy looking good up here in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at Eddie Rayleigh, and I don't know if he's trying to decide whether he wants to stay to the inside and just kind of pedal along, or if he wants to try to get to the outside and see if maybe the outside lane can form up and potentially push him to the lead. But Kilojoule is definitely on the outside. Oh, Rayleigh clipped the apron just a little bit there.
Yeah, they keep it straight, but yeah, there's been a lot more movement than I would be comfortable with if I was in this pack. So, excuse me. Caleb Lingle up here on the inside as well.
Well, and one thing to roll back on the tape comments from earlier is this. You still sometimes, I guess depending on how much you have the nose taped up and everything like that, you do sometimes have to poke your nose out into fresh, clean air, or let out of the throttle, or get into the clutch a little bit, if that is a threat. The big question is like, for what you lose in terms of straight line speed, just cutting through the air, you are risking engine expiration or engine damage and everything like that. So I do kind of wonder if some of these like peak outs are either, hey, I'm trying to get fresh air, or hey, I'm trying to make a move.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, especially if maybe some guys thought they could risk the 75, and maybe it's biting them. They're just trying to get to the pit stop. We're already on lap 10, so we're going to be we're a little more than halfway there as far as the pitting goes.
Eddie Rayleigh said, I'm tired.
Whoa!
I don't want to run to the inside anymore. He jumps to the outside, and he's getting definitely a charge. Now up to second, falling back at worst to third.
Oh, he's going to get to the quarter panel of the 73. It's the first time that Herman has been really challenged for this race lead. And we'll see if he gets the run on the outside here. That tends to be where, again, the better momentum off the corner tends to be. And yeah, they're drawing side by side now. KJ looking to push him. Oof, a little squirrely there. Oh, man. Yeah, there's a lot of movement, as you've been saying. Well, as long as they're able to keep it together. But another thing, and I remember I asked you coming into this about the about kind of where you want to be, kind of based on where you're qualified. But if you're in the middle of a pack like this, the checkups are really going to get you because obviously everyone's trying not to hit each other at the front. That just accordions on back, and next thing you know, you got to slow down like 10 miles an hour going into the corner.
Oh, no doubt. And I mean, right now we are only seeing side-by-side 2 wide racing, but at the same time, we know that this track can be able to contain or have instances of 3-4 wide racing. And at that point, your butt puckers and you get terrified
Yeah.
because one wrong move, one wrong bump could send the entire pack into the wall or down to the inside of the racetrack, collecting more vehicles, turning into a Hot Wheels smash up at 200 something miles an hour.
I don't think anybody wants to see that. But that is the nature of Talladega. Of course, the infamous big one. Hopefully we won't see it tonight. We've had 12 clean and green laps so far. But side by side for the race lead. And everybody's still in this pack. Charlie Trusty just barely holding on. Looks like he may struggle to hold on to the lead draft. Everybody else still looking pretty good up in here. And Eddie has been leading the last couple laps, it looks like, from that outside.
Not by much. By about 200ths of a second across the line there. So.
Oh. Not going to help if his pushers is vanishing off of the racetrack. As KJ there lagged for just a moment.
It does make me kind of wonder if there's a bit of a ghost push that happens. The game doesn't see the car, but there still may be an aerodynamic push there.
Yeah, all kinds of weird physics that go into stuff like that. But well, at this rate, we are looking to probably make it to the green flag pit stops realm, and that will probably be coming within the next 4, maybe 5 laps. And again, another question for you. What on earth could that look like when we get into the realm of green flag pit stops in a pack this big in cup cars that I would say are notorious for being kind of difficult to get slowed down on a dime?
Well, I would say it really depends on what the track grip is like. Some super speedways, the track grip is up very, very high when you get into the pits, which is solid for getting onto there and not sliding about and everything like that. But more than anything, brake bias. What do these drivers have their brake bias set to? Is it more of a frontal brake bias, which runs the risk of accidentally looping it in the back end? Is it more medium?
Oh!
Jeez, oh Pete, he could have.
Ooh.
Oh man.
I think he's getting set up for that stop, probably.
Yeah. See here real quick. Nope, nobody has thrown the flag that they're going to be pitting this lap, so this will be interesting.
Yeah, I think we're a little early. I think probably another 2 for anyone that may want a short pit. And maybe guys at the back, they may be able to stretch it to 19, but we'll find out. Again, everybody except for the 43 currently in this lead draft, 26 out of 27 drivers. We're on lap 16. Now KJ may be looking to try to make a run here on the outside. Just a little movement there. Ugh. Yeah, a lot of, as you said, butt puckering moments. So far, so good. Oh, right as I say that, that is Herman getting on the apron and spinning out, and there's a number of cars spinning to the inside, including McLean, Stacanus. I thought I saw someone else in trouble. No caution.
It was off the racing surface is the only thing that I could think of.
That was all below the racing surface, and that will keep them green. Unreal. But that looked like that was just Herman just hitting the apron, and then the car just swapping ends on him, and
yep,
that was that. And you just got 3 heavy hitters that just spun out, wrecked out. Let's see, Herman with a flat, a lot of rear end damage. for the 28 and the 31 in very bad shape. It looks like he just called it a night. That will be the first retiree of the night. Is going to be that number 31. Oh, goodness. Drink after that one.
Well, this is now like split up the pack and everything like that, and we're getting green flag pit stops now.
Here we go. KJ's in. Fugate. Bumbalo, Rayleigh. San Diego is going to get spun off of, I believe that was Greg Stenzo. Again, we should stay green. Looks like that was the only incident. Everyone else looking pretty good. Yeah, Pac may end up being a little more splintered now.
I would say that the wood's been snapped at this point.
Yeah. We just got a couple of big incidents there, and now, at least briefly, Bob Gibson is going to be the race leader, along with Maverick, Herb Johnston, Randy Smith has stayed out. There's Rob Heath and Troy Donahue. They're all probably going to be bringing it in this time, and indeed they will. Big lock up there for the 49.
Oh,
Randy Smith
no.
misses pit road.
I hope he didn't pop a tire in the process. Oh, look out. He's coming across the nose.
Oh,
look
boy.
Out.
Oh, Wiley King with some avoiding action there. Wow.
Eesh.
So everybody's going to be getting back up to speed there. Yeah, we're going to be really splintered up here now because you also had everybody checking up for that incident in turn 2. That scattered everybody, and then of course the natural progression of green flag pit stops will just send everybody a little. It'll splinter up the pack a little bit more. So we shall find out who all will emerge where. There's Gibson and Maverick getting back up to speed. We're going side by side. That may be a little iffy. But there's KJ, there's Fugate. Ricky Bumbalo's just kind of barely sticking with them, so I don't know. This may take some time to fully manifest as far as who's going to end up where. But as long as these guys can get formed back up, we'll see.
Well, and the one thing that I'll say is that, you know, going into this race, we did have the comment of there being 8 different winners. Well, I have to say this, just seeing as to how everything folds out and everything, I'd say there's a pretty good chance that we're going to have a new random winner tonight. Like with this happening,
yeah.
just everyone is so spread out and split up. Like, you're going to have to get a pack of 3-4 cars together to really catch the leaders. And it does make me wonder, you know, and this is something that just makes your heart sink as a driver, is this. You get into a pit lane skirmish or something like that, and you just lose. Oh, we have a caution.
Dan Rubino in trouble in the 44. Well, I think take everything that we just said and we can throw that out the window. Oh, goodness. Looks like he was trying to make a move on Harry Codian here. And kind of similar deal to what happened to Herman. Apron sends him around, although he got a little pinched off there, it looked like, from the 13. Speaking of Herman, I think we're going to go ahead and have a look at what happened there with the 31, 28, and 73. And let's take a quick look at that. This is lap 16. And there's just a little twitch from Herman. He just barely clips the apron, and see you later. Oh! What a hit there for the 31. The Daytona winner is that 31. Big spin there for the 28 and a lot of damage.
And the 44 has retired with a tire issue.
So that's 2 drivers now out. And that has stacked everybody back up together with Fugate in the race lead in the number 9 Sundrop machine. Now, this is where we may also see a bit of a mixed bag of strategy as far as fuel goes. I gotta imagine that you probably want to top off at this point.
Oh, might as well. Tires are free, fuel is free. Go ahead and get both is my suggestion. Now, the one thing that I was going to say that, it ended up shaking out against this, but I was going to say, if you get into a pit lane skirmish under green, the biggest and most heart-sinking feeling is that maybe you have a car ahead of you that you can draft with, but that's all you're getting. Or worse off, you have no one to draft with, so there's literally nothing you can do. If the leader catches up to you, you need to yield to them to be able to let them get by, especially if it's like a pack of 3 cars. You're not going to be able to battle that. So now that everything is grouped back up under the caution flag period, it is going to be interesting to see which cars are technically on the lead lap and which ones are not. But moreover, this does save a lot of drivers from potentially going laps down, and unfortunately, if this race went green all the way, there'd really be nothing that they could do about it, which would be the unfortunate thing. But hey, moments like this, as much as we don't like seeing caution flags as race fans, this gives the drivers a break to be able to figure out what they're going to do and maybe what went wrong the first go around.
Yeah, agreed. And yeah, keep everybody bunched up together with a good chance at it here. As Dan Rubio just came in the chat, just said he is none too pleased with how his race ended, unfortunately. But hey, Talladega, it's one of those wild cards you never quite know. And hey, we'll be looking forward to seeing you out there hopefully next week. Oh my gosh, I'm totally drawing a blank on where they're at next week. Let me find that out. That would probably be prudent information to have. We will be headed to Texas on May 6th. And that will be, of course, the original game track as well. So we'll bring you guys coverage of that one, Texas, next week on, I think I said May 6th. So, or 4th. What did I just say?
We're going to Texas next week.
We're going to Texas.
That was the most important thing that I gathered.
Yes. 1 week's time. That's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
Well, this is kind of good news. It's looking like nobody who is still running is a lap down. Maybe spaced out pretty far. But other than that, like, nobody lost a lap because of the situation earlier. So, awesome. We have 25 cars in the lead lap, and still with a majority, a chance to be able to go and win this race.
Yeah, now it's just going to be a matter of who's going to be up to speed, who may have damage, especially at 28. We'll see how much damage he might have. And Herman, for that matter, Herman Reese. He was, of course, involved in that. Don't know if he got much damage out of it. I don't remember seeing him take any major hits. So, we shall see as far as his speed goes. Picking on up here. You guys so far have not pitted yet. So it'll be Bob Gibson, Ron Simpson, Steve Grant, Greg Stenzo, Steve Rubino, Mike Erickson. I believe the first driver to have brought it down pit road there was Ricky Bumbalo in the 85. Everybody behind him is currently topped off on fuel. Top 6 thus far. We'll see if they bring it in this time, or if maybe they're going to go for a bit of a bolder strategy here and try to gain some track position. Looks like that might actually be the play for most of these guys. And indeed it is. So, top 6. And with it being single file restarts, I can definitely see the appeal for the strategy here. But, I mean, they're also going to be what would that put them? Probably about 4 laps, maybe 5, behind on fuel compared to everybody else. So you really want to make sure you stick together once you do end up coming down pit road. The lights are out.
And that was what I was going to say, is I have a feeling that this is going to be the last lap of caution, and then we'll get ready to go green once more.
So that will give us 42 laps to go. When we take the green, with Bob Gibson out in the race lead in the 46. Ron Simpson, Steve Grant, Greg Senzo, Steve Rubino, the top 5. Mike Erickson, and then first driver to pit, Ricky Bumbaloo. Wiley King, Fugate, KJ will be the top 10 when we get back going here. Again, single file restart. Everybody playing catch up. Alright, so we saw what the initial start looked like. Everybody was able to mind their P's and Q's pretty well there, but definitely looking a little squirrely out there, so we'll see what this next run is gonna do. Blake, I'll ask you this: when it comes to maybe mid-race adjustments on a super speedway, is there anything that you feel like you would be able to do to try to get the car to handle better? Because obviously super speedway, there's only so much as far as loose and tight that's really going to make that much of a difference. But is there anything that you feel that in your practice that you'd be able to change?
To me, more or less, I guess it really depends on how the car was feeling and how I was feeling, and figuring out whether that was driver input or setup issues. I know without a doubt that as I've gotten into running open setup leagues, I tend to mess with the track bar a lot more if I need to make the car tighter or looser, as I don't really understand the properties fully of the tire pressures, and the wedge just feels like it becomes uncomfortably tight or loose. And the green flag waves once more.
There we go. Little shove there for the 46 from the 25. Ron Simpson, it's another guy who's just been quietly consistent with finishing decent. And he's got good speed, so I know that he's looking for a great opportunity at an even better result tonight. As everybody's getting up to speed.
Number 69, Mike Erickson, tried to make it to the inside. I was getting a little squirrely right now. One other thing I was going to say is in terms of car adjustments, so certainly we were talking earlier about grill tape being an item for the engine, but adding grill tape actually makes you tighter in the process of also gaining more aerodynamic speed. So the question is exactly how much of a trade-off do you need, and is it more of an adjustment of racing line, or is it a car adjustment that the driver may need?
Yeah, so a lot of different factors that could go into it. And an oddly handling Talladega like this, as we see a lot of guys pushing up there. 85 nearly got the short end of that stick. Kind of got 2 packs going here. Let's see, Jason San Diego holding on to the pack there. And it looks like Rob Heath and a few others are kind of getting a little too scattered back here, and they're struggling to hold on to the lead draft up here. And yeah, they're a little bit off the pace in comparison. So it's looking like probably got 17 cars. 16, actually looks like 16 cars up here in this lead draft. And that draft currently being led by Bob Gibson in the 46. Ron Simpson, Steve Grant, and all those guys that did stay out. Oh boy. There goes Fugate having a little dance there, but all the guys that stayed out, so far they are keeping it up here, and it looks like they've got some decent speed. Everyone kind of picking their respective lines here. Fugate, though, giving a shove to Rubino. And maybe looking to try to get up there. Oh, that's not the kind of get up there we were thinking. Oy, 07. That was almost a little ugly there. But hey, the lone Rubino left in this thing. He's got to represent. He's got to represent properly.
Now, here's one thing that I also kind of thought about that, at least in something like iRacing, you wouldn't have a choice in the matter. But from a driver's perspective, my question for you here, Andrew, is this. When you would run super speedways, and you've won super speedways before, what camera view would you usually run with? Or what would you cycle through a majority of the race with?
Camera angle. I've always personally been absolutely dedicated to just roof cam no matter where I go. That's just my personal, just what I'm used to, and it works for me no matter what. But I do know a lot of guys that even if they're used to roof cam, they will go third person. They will go far chase view and give themselves that extra 360. Including knowing if someone's actually about to bump draft them or if someone's just riding with them, as well as, yeah, obviously the two side views. So that is definitely a very, very common thing that guys that even are dedicated to running roof or even cockpit, some guys will opt for the far chase and give themselves a much better chance of knowing what's coming and knowing what's around them so that no trouble abounds. As we got both packs now back together and checking on through, it looks like it is all the way back to Herb Johnson. So now 21 cars happy.
Oh, we got
Is
a
this
wall.
one? Oh, that was Ericsson. Ooh. Side damage there on the 69. Don't know if he'll be able to maintain speed.
He hit that wall very hard. I don't think that he's going to be in much contention now, unfortunately.
You got my attention there. That's for sure.
Maybe contention, but definitely caught our attention.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to hope for some help here. We'll very quickly, we'll go ahead and take a look at what happened here very, very briefly. Oh, looks like he just kind of bounced off a Maverick. Yep, the old bumper grab trick. Nice save, though. Managed to keep that thing straight. And out of causing an even bigger pileup, but yeah, that is going to cost him the lead draft, unfortunately. Now we got side by side up here for the race lead. Simpson and Gibson, but now give that to the 25. We got some fast cars there with them. That's Fugate and KJ. Simpson's going to try to come low here. That's going to open the door for the 9 and the 029. Looks like 25 should be able to lead this lap and will do so. Closing in on the halfway point here in just a couple laps here at Talladega. Again, thank you to anyone who is tuned in here tonight. Tune back in about 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Whoa. Oh, that's a lot of movement. That's a lot of movement. Rubino nearly with a moment. Oh! Big moment. Maverick just about took the nose off the 25.
About to say Maverick, I thought, slapped the wall earlier, but he's going to charge up to the inside, try to take the lead with very little help.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to hold.
I'm actually surprised how well he's keeping up. He's probably not going to have the lead. Oh, boy.
Ooh, San Diego's going to give him a shot here. And he decided to go with him. Everybody else is a little scattered further back there. I think they're going, let's not do that again.
I was going to say he may have been a solo car for a majority of that, but he did cross the line third, so he did something right. He gained a lot of track position.
He's doing very well here. It's the first time we've seen Maverick in this run. Up here toward the front, Ricky Bumbleow's up here. There's Rob Heath. Look at that. Oh, 85. That is not where you want to be on the apron. We've seen that bite a few guys, but we tried to hold it and will do so. Still 20 cars deep here in this draft. Hey, Rob Heath, look at this run. We're going 3 wide, just about. They thought better of that, thankfully.
I was going to say, I can't really tell if Bumbalo is having a minor issue and just trying to do what he can to be able to keep up with the draft or so, or I don't know what's up. His line is a little odd.
It is a little all over the place there. I think that's why you see these guys starting to migrate toward the top. That's where the more grip is. That's where you're going to be way more stable. I just think that you got to run that line, kind of like what Fugate's doing now. And we'll see if he's going to bring everyone with him here. Pull the old Dale Jr. Pied Piper. Will Fugate here if that does indeed hold. How about DJ? D. Johnston up here in the 77. Coming up toward the front here now into the top 5. Bob Gibson's going to try to make a move to the inside. Don't think that's going to hold. We're about 10 laps into this fuel run. Of course, you still got a few guys that are going to be off strategy, including the 46. I think everyone else that was on that strategy has started to slip back, but definitely watch out for that as far as when different guys are going to be pitting. But right now, Fugate's leading a happy little line of 4 here. You guys trying to make that inside lane work, not quite able to do so at the moment.
I'm going to say the 07 of Rubino has pitted, so my question is, are we now in the pit window, or was that just an early pit, or maybe something not right?
Yeah, it seems early, even for him. I know that I'm pretty sure he was on that strategy as well. But yeah, that seems really early. We're going to have to go to the outside of him here. But yeah, that does seem a little early to me, so I wonder if there was something wrong for the 07. But going to come back out here. Probably won't quite be able to hold on to the draft here, but still running it out. Again, the guy that I will be looking at as far as when he pits will be the 46. I know that he's on that strategy as well, is why the King's looking to trying to make a move. A lot of guys that really aren't looking super content to just ride around on that outside and trying to make some maneuvers here.
Oh,
Some of them are starting to make it work.
Someone was heading into the pits and missed the pit line. That would be the 051 of Greg Stenzo.
Greg Stenzo also on that strategy. So yeah, it may be closer than I thought for the guys that opted to stay out under that last caution. So far, only one caution. We had a few incidents, but only one yellow flag thus far. And oddly enough, the yellow flag was for probably one of the smaller incidents. The main incident so far took out Herman Reese out of contention, as well as Keith McLean, and of course outright took out Stakanis. Oh, Steve Grant or Ron Simpson also coming down pit road, but trouble there for Grant. Well, I didn't think that he was on that strategy too.
Yep, Steve Grant unfortunately did not slow it down enough or give himself enough time to cut to the inside. Hit the brake, slid forward, goes to the grass, and he'll have to make a long trip around this track to be able to get into the pits for service now.
And trouble for the top 3 in points. So you got third place out of the race. You got the point leader who now just had that happen to him. And second in points, Herman, who was in an accident earlier and is now just kind of putzing around a little bit further back. Currently scored 17th. So, we were saying how much of a wild card this could be as far as winner. This may shake up the point standings quite a bit coming out of tonight.
Very real chance of that happening.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, do forgive me. I will be back in a few minutes. Need to step away.
Nope, not a problem. Do what you gotta do. You guys are stuck with me now. But, let's see. Everyone's starting to migrate toward the inside here. Ooh, a little awkward position there for Rob Heath. Ricky Bumble looks like he's going to bring it in the 85 into the inside wall. And a couple of flat tires for him. Herb Johnson also coming in there at 49. Boy. Once this big pack comes in, it'll be game on. A little 3 wide just about. Oof. Oh my goodness. That was close. Rob Heath, 77 and 113. Just about going to blows there. But so far, so good. We are coming to 26 laps to go. Rob Heath gonna bring it in this time, as is DJ. Duke Sorensen is in. Oh, that's a spin. That might be the yellow flag. And yeah, oh, definitely is gonna be the yellow flag. Get through there in a hurry. Yep, good play for DJ there. No caution. That's a surprise. Thought for sure with him facing that way on the track with cars coming that they were going to throw it there, but as twice now the game has been very, very lenient. Now when does everybody else come in? See a lot of guys lined up here on the inside. Get any takers? That's going to be everybody. Fugate into the inside wall. Excuse me. Oh man, the dominator of the race in this latter stage. Oh, and he's now stuck with flat front tires in the grass. Unreal. I'll call it that way. Oh man. Let's see who we got still out there. The one that I can see. Ooh, this will be a little bunched up here. Golly, once again, I think we're going to be in for a very scattered field once everybody gets going. But man, tough break for Fugate. Boy, calling that just completely sent my throat into no thank you, Bill. Ugh. Just take a very brief look at what happened there. And he just cut down too hard. Yeah, it looks like it. Get it slowed down and back in, said see you later. Slam into the inside wall. Lucky escape there for Jason San Diego. And then, yeah, trying to get it woed down, blew both front tires. My goodness, last week's winner in jeopardy right there. They got KJ out in front by himself, so this pack's about to absolutely swarm him. Led by Rob Heath, Ken Hansen up to third. Look at that for the 94. Wiley King up here as well. There's DJ, Jason San Diego. Harry Kodian is up here, along with Maverick, Eddie Rayleigh, and Duke Sorensen. And then a few guys that are going to probably try to run them down, which include Ron Simpson, Caleb Lingle, and Bob Gibson. As long as those guys can hook up maybe... only 3 cars, that's probably not looking too good for them. Rob Heath will inherit the race lead now. A very scattered pack up here now. Maverick just took the lead. Boy, everybody's all over the place here in this pack. Pack is currently showing 9 deep. So 9 cars that it has come down to. And 1 more pit stop. These guys are definitely going to have to pit again before the end of this thing. And it's just a matter of how much fuel you can take or not. Yeah, they're racing it up pretty good up there. If they keep doing that, these 3 may have a chance, but they gotta get single file like yesterday in order to pull that off. Fugate running further back here. There's Herman Reese and Troy Donahue. Keith McLean is there. 13th, 14th, 15th. In this line, actually rather now 12th, 13th, 14th. Reserve Johnston, Steve Rubino, Andy Smith. There's Steve Grant after his trouble as his Bumbaloo. Charlie Trusty out there. Greg Stenzo, and then the lead pack, who is coming around to take 21 laps to go. Rob Heath back out to the points. Pushed by the 77. And you got 9 cars up here in this lead draft. A lot of them, I believe, should be... Actually, no, I'm mistaken. A few of these guys are actually off sequence. Pretty sure the 27 is. With 20 laps to go at the stripe this time by. Should put pretty much everybody in that one stopper, no problem. Just gonna be a matter of who has to go when. I think, kind of as I was alluding to earlier before we had a bunch of hairy moments. Again, Thursday nights we'll be back for Bomb Squad action at Charlotte. It'll be about 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, give or take. Zach Rogers will be back up with me in the booth for that one. And then Texas, next Tuesday night for these guys here in the HOBO Cup Series. That's proven to be quite a wild card here. A lot of wild stuff, but still only 1 caution throughout the course of this thing. Very, very impressively so. And as it stands, 9 cars in it with a shot at the victory. A little 3-wide action there with the lap car Stenzo. You know, that may help out these 3, but yeah, I think they still got a lot to make up here. As 69, Mike Erickson has retired. Yeah, them guys got about 3.5 seconds to make up. How about Rob Heath? Leading this thing like a champ. And you got DJ pushing him. And that's the thing. I mean, some of these guys that you don't see up at the front all that often, you throw them on a super speedway, and they just turn into dynamite. They get the setup for it. They know how to drive it. And they're just able to run away with it. And Rob Heath is looking like he's got quite a piece here for the super speedways. He's been very, very solid any time that he has been out front. So if he's able to hold on to this lead, keep an eye on Rob Heath. Hopefully he'll be able to keep it clean then once we do get to that final round of pit stops. Which, man, that last round, and you had a lot of craziness going on. Thankfully, no yellow. And I stand corrected, actually. Herb Johnston is, or DJ rather. My goodness, I just got them confused. DJ's a lap down. I totally forgot about that he actually looped it. So, my bad. He's just up here pushing ahead of Eddie Rayleigh here. So, Eddie Rayleigh's actually second. And let's see. So, is that only 8 guys? Yeah, it's only 8 cars that are going to be in it with a shot at the win in this lead draft at the present moment. Did I hear you return? Yep, there you are.
Yep. I didn't want to interject at a bad time.
You're good, man. I just wanted to be sure that I thought I heard you walk back in. I was like, oh, hey, there we go. My man's back.
Yep, certainly an interesting situation with the 77 there. Certainly playing as blocker, as gapper between first and second, but honestly, doing all of his might as if he was on the lead lap, so kudos to him on that.
Got a great car, yeah. Yeah, he's pushing Rob Heath beautifully here. He's been committed to him since this run began, and now everyone's starting to file down to single file. But now we're in the realm with coming to 15 laps to go here. Only one caution, a race that has really been going by nicely. Again, despite some craziness, a little bit of calamity, but all in all, reasonably clean, and this race has been ticking by in a hurry. So with 15 laps to go, question is, when do you come in? Because all of these guys can come in at any point and make it without any issue. Wiley King not looking too straight there, connection-wise. He's still blinking.
Well, and the one thing that I'll say is I'm looking at the point standings right now is we got a blinking situation going on. Rob Heath is currently 19th in points going into this race with no wins, no top fives, and one top 10. So a win here, or even just a top 5 finish for him, will help him tremendously in the standings. I'd say to a reasonable extent, he could probably climb from 19th to approximately 15th, 14th or so.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That'd be big for the chase later in the season, because you got pretty much the top 10 in points, plus any driver who wins a race, who also makes at least half of the starts. So that would be huge if Rob Heath is able to get this one. Eddie Rayleigh, who's going for the race lead here, looks like may get it. He's got to win at Martinsville. So he's already in that. Eric Kodian is not. He has yet to win. And he's up here now contending for the lead. As a matter of fact...
Oh boy, be careful, boys.
Oh yeah, a little wily. But looking at everybody up here that's in this lead pack, the only driver up here with a win is the 112. Nobody else has a win yet this season. So, that's pretty much everything to gain and nothing to lose for everybody that's up here. And even if you look further back, Caleb Lingle running 10th, who's not even in that draft, is the next winner on the season so far.
And what I was going to say is whether it be, oh, I have never won in this series whatsoever, or, oh, I'm going for the first win of the season, it matters that much to the drivers. So, you know, I'm definitely going to say for the amount of diversity in terms of this front pack that we do not have, that they don't have a win yet, I will say this. I think that there is everyone who's hungry for a win tonight, and they've actually got the best chance to do it. They're in the best position that they can be.
Oh, big time. And they know it, and they're going to try to make it happen, and take no prisoners in the process. This is their chance. This is their moment. But you got to execute on this final stop. You got to keep yourself in this lead pack. First and foremost, bar none, end of story. Taking 11 laps to go.
And another pit failure.
Oh, speaking of failure, that's an engine failure.
Oh, no.
That's KJ.
Is it going to bring out the yellow, though?
Oh, he's spinning up into the track, and yeah, that will. Oh, man.
Well, we got approximately 9 laps to go, I think. So I'm guessing that we might have a 5-lap shootout.
Oh,
maybe a 4-lap shootout.
DJ's going to get his lap back. You see him coming around ahead of Rob Heath, who will be the race leader.
KJ, unfortunately, is going to go a lap down, if not more, as he had to tow his car back to the pits. And on this big of a track,
there.
Oh, a failure of some type? Tire?
No, I saw smoke.
Oh.
Yeah, the engine on that car unfortunately went. Whoa! We're checking up a little hard there. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Hey, these long runs, it every time it bites somebody, no matter what. And in this case, it bit KJ. Wiley just came there and unfortunately got into him.
At first, I was under the assumption that the smoke was coming from the tires spinning out and everything. Nope, that engine hand grenaded.
That was a grenade, and Dunzo is that 029. Man, he was also one of the stronger cars along with Fugate.
It
Ay,
looks
ay,
like
ay.
it looks like a majority of cars are coming into pit on this final restart, or hopefully final restart at least.
Yeah, I got it, man. Yeah, we were waiting for everybody to make the call, and hey,
Oh,
we're at 10 laps to go. We just heard that.
there's two cars that have
Oh,
now cocked
goodness.
themselves sideways,
Heath,
took pit lane, and turned it into an ice rink.
Troy, and there's the 49 there. Oi, that's not good.
It has certainly been an interesting night, just both on the racing side, but especially on the pitting side.
Yeah, this has been, hey, it's Talladega. If it's not going to be craziness on track, it's going to be craziness somewhere. Oh, wow. I saw Herman Reese just pull off there like it was nothing. Can you say race leader? Herman Reese once again. Where did he come from? That's dangerous. That's going to be big right there. Yeah, Eddie Rayleigh is going to be second, at least off the pit lane. And Rob Heath, Duke Sorensen, Jason San Diego. That appears to be what will be the top five once everything gets taken care of here. Yeah, everybody else ahead of them, either on the tail end of the lead lap or laps down. 28 has also just retired from the night.
That's what I was about to say. A
Yeah.
yawn overcame me and couldn't get the words out.
Yeah, sorry. It's been a very interesting night on my end as well. Because here I am, commentating the race. Apparently I wiped my nose too hard at one point and it started bleeding, so boy, it's been quite the night, Blake. It's been quite the
I feel
quite
like
the evening.
I feel like the ghosts of the Talladega Superspeedway have just come out virtually and decided to mess with everyone, driver, commentator, just everyone and everything.
Hey, who was it that like said that he heard voices and
Uh,
he pulled off a retire? Was that Bobby Isaac?
that was indeed Bobby Isaac.
I feel like I'm hearing those voices now, and those voices are like, "Hey, you're sick. You gotta stop commentating." I'm like, "No, I'm having fun. I can talk somewhat normally as long as I don't rip my voice too hard, and I got my cough button so no one hears it. That's all that matters, right?
More or less.
More or less." Uh, Once again, Blake, thanks for being up here with me, man. It's always a hoot. Whenever you're up here, we always have a good time with it, and I thank you for being up here. To anyone watching this, go subscribe to Charlie Fibrosis. Just post some fun stuff over on that channel, and hey, Blake's a guy that you can't hate him. I mean, good lord, just look at his face. You can't hate the guy.
I don't entirely know if everyone knows what my face looks like, so imagine whatever that may be. Hopefully it's handsome.
Hey, I can. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I can attest to that. Man to man, I can say that. I just made him blush. I don't know what he doesn't know what to say.
I'm scratching my head, wondering how many laps there's going to be left in this on this hopefully final run. I'd say my approximation is going to be right. I think that when they cross the line, go green, it will be 5 to go.
We're coming to take 7, I believe. If the lights go out this time, that will put us at 6. So that would pretty much mean that any caution after that will likely end it, as the wave rounds and free pass cars will go ahead and get their trip around the track to get back to the tail of the field. Herman Reese up in the race lead after being involved in pretty much the biggest incident of the night that did not cause a caution. He's now up here in first ahead of Eddie Rayleigh. Then Rob Heath, Duke Sorensen, Jason San Diego. That's your top 5. Behind them, you got Caleb Lingle, again looking for redemption after last week. Wiley King, Bob Gibson, Ron Simpson. That's not confusing at all. And Ken Hansen, although it looks like the 25 may have a problem. And he's struggling to get back going there, but you got the top 2 with a win this season. Caleb Lingle with a win at Vegas, although that's been about all he's had to show on his statistical season thus far, which does not say anything about his speed. He's had great speed.
Oh, we got an incident in the back.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we do. This is 77 and 11. They should, looks like, hopefully gather it back up.
Oh, good grief.
Uh-oh. Someone just
the 11,
run in there.
The 11 and the 07 just... Oh, my gosh. Guys, we're supposed to be coming to green, not bringing out another yellow.
The good news is lights are still out, so we'll at least go green still.
I was going to say, the unfortunate thing is, I was literally about to say, I'm looking at Steve Grant right now, and I'm thinking, well, he may be mired back in the field, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's out of this race. And we have another crash. There's a car flipping. 2 cars flipping.
Oh, fella.
I don't know if tempers have overflown or if someone's just not getting the messages to how to line up. We've gone from Talladega to Bowman Gray Stadium.
Something's going awry. Well, game still says we're a go.
Okay.
We may have to take a look at that then.
Goodbye, pace car. Green flag.
Here we go. That's a great start there for Herman. Ooh, there's a lot of bumping there, shoving.
Now the question is did Herman get too far out while we were dealing with calamity and possibly poor restarts?
Zach very much enjoyed your commentary on that one. Oh, Caleb, that was a power move there, trying to get past the 22, and will do so. He's going to give a shove to the 112. 112 peaks high.
And there they go.
No help for Herman to come into 5 laps to go.
I was close.
Yeah, you were very close there. Boy, yeah, we're definitely going to have some stuff to check out there. Still warping there. Caution is back out. Just saw the lights come on there. Caleb's going to try to take the lead for himself, but it will be Rayleigh leading them back. And it looks like it may have been Steve again.
So now my question is this. Yeah, does this end the race?
Does this end it? We just took 5 to go. You know what? I think this may have just set up a 1-lap shootout.
Certainly will be interesting if that's the case. 1-lap shootout's not the most common, but just as tense as a 3 to go restart.
Oh, agreed. Now, let's see. What happened here? Bad shove, it looks like, for Steve from Ron Simpson. Ooh, yep. That is exactly what it was. Harry Kodian. Oh, and hard into the wall for the 13. I want to see what caused those flips. That was crazy. So let's see, where would it have propagated? Trying to get back onto the correct lap here. It's proven to be difficult.
Not many cars, but maybe 2, 3 cars going down, getting pit service.
All right, let's see. Oh, Fugate just lost control. Yeah, the old going down the banking, you try to correct it, and then the car decides it wants to climb the hill on its own. I've been there plenty of times. That is a awful, awful, awful feeling. But then, yeah, reason for this caution, just a bad shove to the 11 from the 25. Sent them around, 13 went into the wall. We now got 4 to go. Probably going to be a one-lap shootout here. Race might be over. If so, that would put Eddie Rayleigh as the 3rd multi-time winner of the season. If this thing does get going, that's going to be one lap.
And the big curiosity is this. So we do have some cars that are a lap down, which with the old NASCAR rules and everything like that, they still get an opportunity to pit. The question is it going to be paced out enough that both the lead lap cars, lap down cars, and then just general quote-unquote caution flag laps, is it going to burn it down that when they take the white flag, it's going to be under caution?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're pretty sure that the lights will not be going out this time. That's a given. It'll just be a matter of the next time. I'm going to make a wager and say that we will get 2 to go. When we take 2 laps to go in the race, it will be the 1 to green. And we will get the green and white flags in the air simultaneously. If that is indeed the case, then that is going to actually put Eddie Rayleigh in a decent position as long as he gets a decent restart. Because with how long it takes these guys to get up to speed, that's going to make mounting a huge charge very difficult. Now, granted, we did just see that from these guys, and they were able to steamroll past Herman Reese. But that was also because Herman just absolutely checked out, and he was gone. So, it's that balancing act. If we're going to indeed get that one-lap shootout here. If we do, you got Rayleigh, Lingle, both guys with wins. And Jason San Diego 3rd, Herman Reese 4th, Wiley King in 5th, Bob Gibson, Rob Heath, Ken Hansen, Randy Smith into the top 10 in the number 10. That's impressive. Herb Johnston rounds out the top 10 as it stands. Everyone else is kind of getting themselves figured out. Boy. Blake, for how few cautions we have had in this race, it has certainly been a crazy one. But I mean, good grief, it's Talladega. What else do you expect?
Well, I think I'll certainly say this. Some of the incidents that have happened under caution certainly would bleed into cautions of their own had the caution not already been out. So it's a caution inception. But certainly has been a crazy, crazy night, no doubt about it. I can't remember necessarily what race it was. I felt like I did commentate a Cup Series race with you within maybe the last 4 months. And I thought that we saw them race at Texas. But as an example, and it's mainly just because it's a throwback to him, the 28, which is a Davey Allison throwback, I've wondered if that car was going to be able to get a win or where it was going to be. It certainly has this season, but Yeah, just as it goes, some of the cars that catch my eye and everything like that, I've wondered, are they going to be able to get there, be there at the end? And thus far in my commentary time with you, the answer has been no.
Unfortunately, we were able to see Keith McLean take that Davey Allison car to victory lane at Phoenix. That was pretty cool to see.
Lights are out.
Ooh, lights
This is
out.
all right. So let's ask on both sides of this. Andrew, I know that you've won at Talladega before, and you've certainly led races. My question to you is this: if you're coming to this, are you grateful that it's coming to a caution to white flag, or would you prefer that the green already be out, cross the white flag line, and have that momentum already there? Because this restart is going to be so important.
I mean, if I'm leading this thing and I have to choose between either 1 to go or 2 to go, I'm definitely taking 1 to go, because I think that the opportunity, if it's a full green white checkered, for everybody to build up so much momentum behind me once they're up to full speed. Again, that's why I think that this gives the slight edge to the 112. Again, if the momentum builds up quick enough behind him, he's going to have a hard time holding it off. But I think that momentum is going to be a little more difficult to build up with it being 1 lap versus 2. That is just my take, though. Obviously, it's just going to be a matter of what everybody does behind him and how desperate they're going to be. We saw some aggressive moves from the 113 on that last restart, and it got him up into a great position here. Can he take advantage?
Well, here we go. The pace car is lining up as it heads down into pit lane. This is for all the marbles. I don't know if they have a no more cautions rule or race back or what the situation is here, but
They will
without
race
a
back.
doubt, no race back.
They will.
They will race back. All right, you can't fumble this restart. You gotta go. The white flag's in the starter's hands. Couple
Green
of
and
cars
white.
shaking out.
Here we go.
Green flag waves.
Caleb gives a little shot. Jason takes a slight look there in the 22 top 5, kind of in their own little zip code here. Riley King looking to try to get to the inside of Herman Reese. Not quite going to be able to pull that off.
Don't wreck each other. Don't wreck each other.
There's a lot of separation up here. That is not what Caleb wants. Eddie Rayleigh looking sporty at the moment. They're going to start to scatter. They're 3 wide further back. Duke Sorensen involved in that. Now a big block in there from the 112.
They're starting to form up.
Oh. There's
Jason
Herman.
Syria is going to get left behind, potentially.
To the inside of Jason San Diego. Going to try to cut up, trying to make a big move. He's got a lot of speed.
Oh,
And
Syria
San
into the
Diego
outside
into the wall.
into the grass.
Sliding was Wiley King, but Rayleigh will manage to hold them off successfully. Win number 2 for the 112. And it comes at the biggest and shortest tracks on the season thus far for Eddie Rayleigh. Beautiful and perfectly driven. Not too aggressive on those blocks, but just making sure that he went where the 113 did. And it paid off beautifully. Caleb Lingle, even though it's not going to be a win, finally going to have a great result to show for his speed with a 2nd place. And Herman was able to manage 3rd place after what he went through earlier in the race. That is great to see. And that should be, quite handily so, the point lead for that Cadillac. Steve Grant coming into this race as the point leader. Scored 14th. How about it for that 112? The U.S. Army Ford representing the armed forces, and that will be I would imagine, a fairly popular win again, he got it done at Martinsville, the shortest track on the schedule, and now he's going to get it on the biggest.
Can't tell if the track is just a little bit too gripped up. If he's trying to do a burnout, just turn it around.
Yeah, doing a burnout with these low RPMs is a little tricky. What I find is best is that you got to go into the grass and just mat it, and then you can get those tires spinning. Parks it there.
Parks it there, and there it
Talladega symbol.
goes.
That is beautiful right there.
Well, that was a race.
That was something. Boy, that was a little bit unexpected in some regards, but hey, a lot of fun there, a lot of excitement. Unfortunately, going to be some disappointed drivers after that one, I think. But taking a look at the full finishing results here, again, 27 drivers that started this thing. Eddie Rayler will get the race win in that number 112, followed by Caleb Blingle and Herman Reese. We'll try to get a word with each of those guys, of course. Bob Gibson, Randy Smith, phenomenal results there for fourth and fifth there for drivers number 46 and 10. Rob Heath, Duke Sorensen, Ricky Bumbalo, Troy Donahue, and DJ will be the top 10. Those are some finishes that those guys, I'm sure, were hoping to get out of tonight, and they ended up getting it. So it's definitely some shuffling going on there. Why the King, Fugate, Cody Ann, Grant, and San Diego. Heartbreak there for Jason San Diego after restarting that final restart there in third. Will end up 15th. Ron Simpson, Herb Johnston, Ken Hansen, the last of the lead lap finishers. Stenzo, Maverick, Trusty, and then everybody else on down from Steve Rubino, Keith McLean, Kilojoules, Erickson, Dan Rubino, and Jeff Stakanis all out of the race prematurely. Yeah, a race indeed, and some carnage, some craziness, but not a ton of cautions. Race actually went by quite quickly, which is quite impressive, and I can tell my voice is going to be crying as soon as we're done, but hey, we still got some guys to talk to here, and I'd say we just go ahead and go down the lineup here, and we'll start with Herman.
User was moved to your channel.
Here's Herman Reese, number 73, and we'll be heading out of Talladega as the new point leader. Herman, copy?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you. Go ahead.
Right on, man. So after what happened there with that first incident, which did not cause a caution, shockingly, but after all that, you found yourself at the end of that thing with the track position back and emerging with a top 3 finish. Of course, the nature of super speedways, you never really know what's going to happen, but that Cadillac still seemed like it had some pretty good speed. But just kind of tell me what it was like trying to get that track position back and being able to try to hold on to it as best as you can to eventually emerge with the third.
Yeah, I made a mistake early in the race. I was just the 112 was fast, but he was so edgy, and I gave him a little more room. I thought he was wrecking, and when I lifted, I clipped the apron, and then I wrecked, and there was no caution, and that put us behind. Caught a fortunate break, but then the next restart, one of the cars lost 3 gears or something, and we ended up losing the draft, and I just got fortunate there. I was planning to make, I mean, I couldn't believe I made up about 10, 11 spots under green there with all the problems, and just got fortunate. I couldn't believe I come out the leader when I pitted, and guys were taking tires and fuel. I'm like, what the? This is going to be a cakewalk. But unfortunately, the 2 cars that were behind me are teammates, and then the 4 cars behind that were teammates. So I didn't have a lot of friends. All my friends blowed up or wrecked out.
Yeah, it unfortunately it kind of played out that way. Ultimately, yeah, you're going to be the one of the prime 4 horsemen guys leaving that thing, even if everybody did get involved in a little something something. But again, point lead heading into Texas, going back to a more familiar track, I'm sure. Probably a little more confident heading into that one versus a wild card such as tonight.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I won Daytona and led a bunch of laps. I don't know if I led the most tonight because of the incident, but fast car again. And I think at the end there was fast car. I just needed a little bit of help. I honestly, Eddie, congrats to him. He actually said to me in the waiting room, he said, I thought you had us there, but Jason San Diego got spun and then you're sitting duck. If that's Daytona, maybe I can get to second, but where the start finish line is all in all a good run. Um, you know, once again, the team, we run all different stuff and just fast. I've been in the top 3 at the end of every race this year, I believe. Just happy to finish and maintain some points. I guess, unfortunately, Steve Grant had some bad luck, missed pit road, got a lap down, and just that, if you watch the points the whole race, you're like up, down, up, down. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I was everybody I think ended up everywhere at some point in that race, which was pretty crazy. And I do want to apologize to everybody. I think I called that Jeff Stacanis had won Daytona. I confused that for the truck race. That was my fault. Herman actually, won that one. Stacanis won Atlanta, so that was my fault.
Yeah, I was hoping that Jason I was going to push Jason to the win there, and I said, well, that'd be one more different guy that's won this year for as many as we had. I think we had 8 or 9 already this year with just 11 races, 12 races.
Yeah, it's been 8 so far, which is freaking awesome. Blake, do you got any questions or anything for Herman?
Not really. Just if I remember right, you started on pole tonight, or at least pretty high up in the field. I'm just very impressed by the run that you managed to have from beginning to end. You were up front, you slid back, didn't know where you were, kept on going, and you come out tonight with a 3rd place finish, and if not the points lead, at least very, very close to it. So congratulations to you for the night, man. You managed to make it happen where it needed to.
Thanks. I guess if there was a car passing thing, I might have got it. At one point, I was 25th, 13 seconds back by myself, and that's how this racing. It's like golf. You either love it or you hate it. Some weeks you hate it, some weeks you love it. And obviously Daytona this year, I loved it. I was not a fan about halfway through, and you just never know in these races. You can't give up, and this race afforded me to play the strategy. I really thought that we had the fastest. If not, Jeff Stacanis was really fast. I mean, everybody, this track, everybody's running almost exact setup. And I think some of the guys, they try that low camber in the rear, and it just makes them really free. And the setup I had is really stable, other than the driver hooking the apron. But it's fun, right? I wish we get more 3Y, but we'll stick to the 2 to these guys get it, solid.
It's all a learning curve. I feel you on the setup thing and the golf thing. I golf myself. But no, man, a great recovery and a great car that you had. And hey, I'm sure we'll see more of you at the front at Texas. But hey, you survived Talladega. That's the big key right there.
2 Superspeedway races and 2 top 3 finishes is amazing. As good as these guys are, and we really didn't have the big one tonight, and that's probably why. So very fortunate. But thanks again to you guys for putting on the show. And I'm not sure who sponsored, if Mac Daddy sponsored us, and to the Rubino brothers, HOBO Racing League, and all the drivers. And congrats to Eddie and to Caleb for having a good run. And thanks again. We'll hopefully talk to you next week. I like this every week. We'll just do a recap.
I was gonna say, yeah, this rate, it's like it's you and Jeff. We get to talk all the time.
We'll be exchanging Christmas cards before long.
Oh yeah, hey, at this rate, fellow golfer, we'll find ourselves on the golf course soon enough.
10-4. You guys have a good evening. Thanks.
Hey, take care, man.
User was moved out of your channel.
That was our 3rd place finisher. But now let's get a couple other guys up here, including the Vegas winner and the guy who
User was moved to your
came
channel.
oh so close a week ago, and now a little more of a proud finish there. But Caleb Lingle, runner up tonight. Do you copy, my friend?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Right on. So 2nd place, I kept saying, yep, probably was hoping for some redemption after last week, and while it's not quite the win, for being Talladega, I'm sure second's got to feel at least pretty damn good.
Oh, it does. I think anything top 5 would have felt like a win. It's the way my luck's been. I always find myself back in 16th at the end of these things. But yeah, I'm happy. You know, when you're that close, you always want it that last little bit. But overall, I'm happy with finishing the car in the pointing straight and not back there in the back where I have been for a while.
Yeah, it is kind of one of those races that you feel like you just kind of got to survive. I mean, it definitely seemed like you had a great car. We saw you make some pretty bold moves that worked out really well, and obviously, yeah, it takes some confidence in your car in order to be able to do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I always say Talladega, it's like you're playing blackjack. Sure, there's some strategy involved in it, but at the end of the day, the cards fall where they will, and you just kind of play with what you're dealt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got lucky a few times. It was early in the race. Herman clipped the apron, and I got into him. Don't think that affected my car any, but lost a lot of track position. And then from there, I decided not to race too hard. Waited for some green flag pit stops. Finally had one. I messed that one up by taking 4 tires. So I was trying to find ways of messing myself up, but a late caution brought me back in and worked out on the good side of things. Like you said, you never know coming in how this thing's going to be. There's 20 guys here that's able to win this race, but it's just random and how the cards fall.
Yeah, but still very very nicely done, and big congrats on being able to keep that thing pointing straight at the end and getting that race victory. Blake, if you got anything for Mr. Lingle?
I mean, my only simple question is just this. Certainly a one-lap shootout can definitely cause some issue in terms of trying to build up a run and everything like that. And certainly a good finish. The second place finish is very, very respectable and commendable. Is there any sadness or any feelings, though, of just not being able to get that final charge on a one-lap showdown?
Yeah, when it's that close, you want to go for it. You want it to be yours. But Ray Dog in the 112, he's my teammate, and I tried to make a pass as that caution was coming out. The last caution when we was racing back to the line. Tried to make a pass on him, but didn't work out. And after that, we kind of saw it was going to be a 1-lap shootout, and I knew our best option was just to stick together. I didn't really have any intentions on passing them, just because, like you mentioned, it's hard to build up runs uh, in 1 lap. And so at that point, I knew second was probably the best I can do. It was just pushing him to the finish and hopefully finish right behind him in second, which happened.
Plays out. So, yeah, big 1-2 there, and yeah, big congrats to the both of you. And hey, another mile and a half coming up, Texas. Uh, Probably some confidence there. I know, obviously, the results don't show the full picture with the speed that you've had. You've had a lot of good speed and a very good car in most of these races. So hopefully Texas will be where it kind of turns around. But hey, if you just bring the speed that you've been bringing, and I think it should play out well for you, at least based on what I've been seeing.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to make that Texas race. I have prior commitments, and uh, unfortunately, I really like that track. But I'll plan on bringing the best I can for Kansas.
Hey, you got it. Of course, just before we let you go, closing thoughts, shout outs, anything that you want, then you may feel free, my friend.
Yeah, I thank my Lord Savior Jesus Christ. Big thanks to my teammates as well for working with me through the race. Obviously, you saw Ray Dog and I working there together at the end. Others have helped out through the race. We had Troy and Ken in here also tonight. We're missing a few others, but and big shout out to the Rubino brothers for running this thing and all the guys around. For the most part, it was a pretty clean race. So everybody did a pretty good job. So big shout out to everyone racing tonight.
Thank you, man. Yeah, best of luck heading into Kansas then in a couple weeks' time, and hey, just wishing you all the best for next week, and just staying safe. But great job tonight, man. Finally, a well-deserved result.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. Come on. Move him
User
down.
was moved
There
out
we
of
go.
your channel.
That was weird. Well, that just leaves one more. And that
User was
is
moved to your channel.
our race winner, Eddie Rayleigh, the Ray Dog himself. Ray, copy?
I have a copy.
Perfect. Win number 2. That is now you're now the third multi-time winner on the season. And fancy this, getting the wins on the smallest and the biggest tracks on the season. But obviously Talladega is always a little bit crazy as far as who ends up where. But ultimately, yeah, you had a very, very good piece. It looks like you and Caleb were working well together. So, yeah, just kind of tell me how you're feeling able to get that W, how you felt like you were able to pull it off, and yeah, just if that just kind of builds up the confidence a little bit heading forward.
Yeah, well, I want to say congratulations to Caleb as well as Herman. They did a really good job tonight. They had fast rides all night long. So I was just lucky enough to be pushed at the right time, right direction, in order to get in front of Herman early during the race to lead some laps. And then late in the race, kind of got shuffled back when that caution came out. So I was just riding, basically biding my time. And then as well, it was kind of unexpected that half the field didn't pit on that one caution. And so I knew they was going to have to pit early. So I just rode in the back, rode up high. So when they pitted, I was able to make my way into, I think it was like fifth or something like that. And then I got down and then come out and caution came back out. And we just basically from that moment tried to put ourselves in a position to win the race. I thought Herman was going to get me there at the end. He had a good push going, and then all of a sudden his help kind of got turned. So Caleb ended up pushing me to the win. Caleb has done that a lot, and I've done him a lot. So he's my teammate, and he does a really good job.
Yeah, you guys did fantastic up there, and yeah, he was saying, yep, just kind of felt like once the opportunity arose that he'd be able to get you that victory. You guys were pretty well linked up. You guys were pretty well linked up there at many points. But the U.S. Army Ford getting another win. And yeah, again, I mean, going from the small track of Martinsville to the big track of Talladega there, you've got a pretty diverse winning schedule there, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, right. I didn't even think of it like that, but you're exactly right. Herman actually had that race in the bag, and I was just riding behind him. And the last lap, last turn, he kind of slid up a little bit, and I was able to get underneath him cleanly and passed him to the win. So, or he would have had another win for this evening. But yeah, and Talladega's always been my favorite track. It's like, you're playing Russian roulette all the time, and you're kind of looking at what line you're in. If somebody wrecks, on the high groove, you're going to take you out. So I try to stay mostly on the low side and work my way around that way. And then when needed, go to the high side. But yeah, it's a Russian roulette. Just try to get yourself set up for the last lap of the race.
It's all survival. I feel that. Blake, got anything for our race winner?
Not really. Just kudos to you on getting a big win there. You certainly managed to hold on to it for the final restart, and for all the positions gained and lost today, and for a wild Talladega race, congrats to you on winning tonight.
Man, I appreciate that. I really, really do. Thank you.
Well, Ray Dog, of course, just before we let you go here, as we gear up for Texas next week, but closing thoughts, shout outs, whatever you want to, man. The floor is 100% yours.
Well, I appreciate that. And thank you to you too for putting this live broadcast on. We appreciate all the hard work that y'all do to go put this thing on. The Remino brothers for the league, they do a heck of a job, and they're again my teammates. There was 5 of us in there, I think, tonight, and we all kind of worked together when we could. So I just want to thank my teammates for a job well done.
Hey, great race, man. Looking forward to seeing what you might be able to do at Texas. Until then, though, go celebrate, have fun. Well deserved, and we'll see you in a week, my friend.
Man, I appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week. Hopefully, I'll be talking to y'all again.
Looking forward to it, man.
All right. Have a good one, y'all.
You do.
User left your channel.
There we go. Ray Dog, Eddie Rayleigh with the race win there. Boy, yeah, there were some calls there that I could tell my my still healing throat was like, "Why are you doing this to me?" But yep, we got through it. We had a great time with that. My nose held together. Boy, my body is all broken at the moment, but hey, we still put on a good show for everybody. I hope. I know Blake. Having him up here, admittedly, was a big saving grace there. So again, Blake, thank you for being up here. I'll get your closing thoughts on this thing. Obviously, yeah, there was some craziness, especially under coming to the green flag there once or twice. But all in all, though, hey, we saw someone that even though he was able to win at one point, he's been kind of just lurking around the top 10ish, but now able to get yet another victory. So uh, I think we saw quite the show tonight.
Well, and I'll go ahead and let you give your voice a rest and everything like that. So, give me just a moment. I will say this much: for what a Talladega race typically is, I'm actually kind of surprised as to how everything went. We didn't see the traditional 3 or 4 wide type racing that we can get here, and to be completely honest, HOBO gives me the impression that the drivers can be able to make it go 3 wide if so need be. The chaos and calamity came from other weird things: engines blowing up, uh, taking the corner wrong and skimming along the apron, incidents happening under caution. Like, this was, in one way, a traditional Talladega race. In another way, it was not. And it was just so interesting and so entertaining to see. Um, and I was so glad to get to see it here with you tonight, here, Andrew. Definitely a great show and a great one lap battle for the finish there. Certainly would have liked to see a little bit more passing, or just one of those final charge runs. But yeah, very, very solid race all in all. And given everything, I think a lot of drivers also raced each other with a lot of respect, even despite the weirdness of some of the caution crashes or pit lane incidents and everything like that. And if anyone is mad, hopefully it doesn't boil over and kind of puts a target on anyone's back when we go into Texas next week.
Yeah, I think you'll rarely see these guys get mad at each other. Obviously, yeah, these guys, uh, pretty much for the most part, it's the same guys racing week in, week out, and very rarely is there a time where you got someone that's like, "Oh, who the heck are you? I haven't raced you before." All these guys know each other very well, and I think that they definitely have that mutual understanding of like, hey, whatever's going on the racetrack, if something happens where maybe an upsetting situation, we'll talk it out. As far as pit road, of course, if you watch pretty much any big league Talladega race, you'll see pit road tends to be one of the hard spots. So I think that tonight was kind of to be expected there. But all in all, again, these guys putting on a good show. Superspeedway racing is always as I said, it's a Russian roulette, blackjack, whatever you want to call it. It is a 4D game of chess. All kinds of just craziness. It's such a different animal. We'll, of course, go back to normal at Texas next week. And, of course, Bomb Squad, like I said, Thursday, 9 o'clock here on the channel. We'll bring you guys Charlotte Cup coverage for that one. That'll be a good time. And then, we'll be back for Texas next week. We also got a race lined up in July for CCR. So that'll be a good deal. And to anyone else who may need a bit of a low budget broadcast, which of course we're always still trying to improve things, but for right now I'm still just having some fun with this on the side, trying to make a couple extra bucks and have some fun with it in the process. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do, and just having a good time with it. And of course, having a good time with it was Eddie Rayleigh tonight with that race victory. And we'll see how that will translate to Texas. We get back to some normal racing. thank you again, Blake, for being up here with me. Always a pleasure. And hopefully I'll be able to get you back up here again in the very, very near future, my friend. That was awesome.
And it was.
Well, until next week, or until Thursday, I should say, to everybody watching. Y'all have a good night and stay safe and stay well, unlike me. See you on Thursday, and then again next Tuesday. Take care.